Hello everyone, and let me introduce you to our work, Dungeons and Deepfakes, that involves using scenario-based roleplay to study journalist behavior towards using AI-based verification tools for video content. This work was carried out by myself, Saniat Sohrawardi, my collaborator Kelly Wu, and my advisor Matt Wright from RIT, as well as Andrea Hickerson from Ole Miss. Verifying digital media is not new for journalists, and various organizations and freelancers have their own ways they approach it. Regardless, however, based on previous research and various blogs, they generally receive potential news and use either traditional methods of calls and interviews or use digital platforms to figure out the context or validity of the content to make a decision whether or not to publish an article or what the content would look like. Now let's take a look at the following video showing Tom Cruise.
What's up, TikTok? You guys cool if I play some sports?
This video is actually a deepfake, and it's clear if you look at the left where the glasses vanish across his face. And on the right, showing the actor who played out this video. The term deepfake is a combination of deep learning paired with fake media, and first surfaced in 2017 through a Reddit user who called themselves Deepfakes, and released a tool for face swapping called Fake App. The term eventually evolved to encompass various digital mediums of real people in fabricated events. While there are definitely good uses for this technology, it has been used for disinformation in the Ukraine-Russia conflict, as well as generating the Pope in a puffy coat, amongst others. To try and combat these fakes, various vendors and researchers have developed deepfake detection tools. This now changes the journalist's workflow to include the AI-based deepfake detection tools. However, unlike some traditional tools, these tools can sometimes make mistakes, leading to maybe journalists making mistakes as well. Now let's imagine a journalist in Myanmar comes across a video of a detained former treasurer. The video was released by the government. In the video, the treasurer admits to corruption and implicates the former prime minister. This isn't like them, they think, and remembers about deepfakes and a tool that she saw online that helps her to detect deepfake videos. The deepfakeinator.com. The website says it's 99% effective, so why not try it? Well, the tool says it's 87% fake. That's it. As she expected, she has to publish the news right now. A few days later, Witness.org releases the article stating that the video was real. This is not good. This incident was actually real, where the public and journalists used the tool that gave them faulty results. This led to an outrage on the internet. Now, how do we study the impact of these tools? The journalistic workflow is fairly random, and they are quite imaginative with the actions they take to verify information. So we'll start by grouping their workflow into scenario-based roleplay design, putting the news as a scenario where the participant takes the role of a journalist. The actions are grouped into various groups, including deepfake detection tool, with the final goal to publish an article or maybe not to. And then let's add Dungeons and Dragons flavor to it by letting the participants come up with any action they want. Which brings us to Dungeons and Deepfakes, where, as mentioned, we brief participants about the study design and the deepfake tools initially. Then we introduce them to their role and the scenario. We then have them rate a few aspects of the scenario to give us a better idea about the quality of it. And then we prompt them for their initial verdict to see if they start off with a bias leaning towards fake or real. After that, we show them a grid of actions to pick from, reminding them that they can also invent their own actions. Once they pick an action, we respond, and if they pick a deepfake detection tool, we show them an interface like this. never really showing them an actual video. In this study, we do not show them actual videos because these scenarios contain videos that can be real or fake. So if we generate an imperfect deepfake, we wouldn't want that to bias them. So instead, we use the D&D magic describing their interactions with the video. Having gotten their response, we then ask them to update their verdict to see if they changed their mind after this step. Before the verdict, we may trigger an event at times to show the effects of this content on the scenario population. The study ends if they select an action to publish as real or fake, or skip publishing entirely. They often can choose to invent an action to just publish facts and update articles at a later time. At this step, we also ask them follow-up questions regarding the content of the articles and whether or not they communicate the results of the tools in those articles. We then give them the last response of the scenario following their decision, which tells them whether they were correct or not. After all the scenarios are finished, we make sure to debrief the participants, telling them about best practices, the dangers, and get some advice ourselves. Let's see an example of a scenario. You're an investigative journalist at a reputable national news organization. 2020 elections are looming, and your editor links you a news article that was just published by a right-wing news organization. A video of Anthony Fauci claiming that COVID-19 vaccine is released for mass production and distribution, but President Trump is delaying its release for electoral gain. Your organization is going live with a broadcast in 40 minutes, and your editor tells you that you have 20 minutes to come up with a response. Taking a look at the results, we see that faulty detection results indeed do have a chance of causing mistakes. Participants seem to show cognitive biases, categories of which would need further research to identify. Interestingly, few participants entirely avoided using deepfake detection tools. Participant 4N specifically was very experienced in deepfake detection. Maybe not deepfake detection, but detection overall. While some others, unsure about what to do, chose to publish articles with facts rather than giving full verdicts. In group settings of 3 to 5 participants, the groups were instructed to elect a leader. The leader would assign 3 actions to members per step, and the discussion results with them before each verdict. The results here showed that all groups used the detection tool, and there was a potential conformity effect observed when members' opinions would get swayed by a senior member, although bias was not noticed in many scenarios except for one. Overall findings suggested that journalists want deepfake detection tools, but they can also over-rely on them, often due to inexperience that may require training to solve. The scenario-based roleplay study itself, though, was very enjoyable for the participants, although complex for researchers themselves. We confirmed our hypothesis, seeing that lack of proper communication and faulty results may induce errors. Cognitive biases may exacerbate those errors. However, more savvy journalists may be safer from these mistakes. And the US journalists have a good tendency at finding ways to verify information contextually. But the tools do take priority if the video is at the center of controversy and the characters can be trusted or reached. Thank you for listening to this talk. Please reach out if you have any questions, and hopefully see you all at the venue in May.